Fort Benning in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when I got back to Indianapolis, I had a boss who was former green stuff. Might have had one of them fancy beanies on his head.
Wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah, he did some special. He did some special secret swirl stuff, and because of that, if you had a secret clearance, and he could get you onto some lovely projects that no one knows nothing about.
Absolutely, the projects don't exist.
Oh yeah.
I spent quite a bit of time at Fort Bragg as an unconventional warfare specialist.
Well, in my case, I fixed laptops and desktops that don't exist.
And taught people about cell phones and computers in foreign countries.
No, I didn't go that far. I just, did all the, interesting civilian and or otherwise governmental sites in fun places.
There we go.
So there's that. So, I mean, always I'm just glad nowadays that they have tools and frameworks, because when you had to do the paper audits, when you had to print off like a whole forest of paper to like do an audit and then mark stuff on it with a pen for 6.5 weeks, that was glorious fun. Now your average GRC tool can do that compliance level report and pretty printed into a PDF in about 10 minutes. For an organization, pretty quickly, and or have a dashboard in real time to show you your compliance level and or monitoring. So I don't know if you guys have ever used GRC tools.
No. I've been doing it the old-fashioned way with spreadsheets, but
anyway, the new way, like Archer GRC, it uses like a seam-like dashboard, and it produces a nice, pretty spreadsheet and bar graphs. And SANS has a GRC tool. So, it'll give you your dashboards, it'll give you your business, impact reports. Iramba is the free one you can play with at home. Iramba is a open source, or shall we say freemium solution. You can get most of your compliance reports for free, but like certain ones, like if they're advanced, such as CIS and or NIST, they'll make you pay a small donationable license fee. So, you could technically get away with writing the licensing fee off, I guess, but it comes as a VM that you can download. So you can get an idea of it, but it works kind of like a seam. So like if you're, like say you're a retail organization, and you can even have agents on the cash register. So if people configure the cash register and the payment terminal is wrong, you can get an alert and go send someone to go fix. Because the PCI industry, if they find out, and they fine you, it's like $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 or something. So useful. So I will paste it to the chat right quick. It's at least one that you can meddle with for free. It has like a VM. Like as I said, they have it as community for free and then paid, so it's open source based. Not too inexpensive.
thanks. That's really useful, actually.
Yeah, let's put it this way. Yeah, our friends at the DoD, they love their spreadsheets. They love you killing like 3 tons of trees too. So I wouldn't know anything about certain places in Colorado and having to spend 6 weeks of my ever-loving life and in places that you don't, that they say officially doesn't exist and you don't want to exist there. Is it so freaking cold? In the middle of a blizzard, mind you? You know, making spreadsheet, doing paper audits, interviews of people that would rather just, like take you out back and shoot you rather than, giving the answers that you need for your, compliance report. And then you have to compile a nice, pretty spreadsheet and bar graphs for the managers, and, yeah. The
That
GRC,
sounds familiar.
yeah. So you've had to do the ye olden DoD, audits from your. They're real fun. I think corn growing is is up on the list of things that go faster. Anyway, the countermeasure selection and implementation is another one. Risk response. Like certain like CVEs, like if you get a vulnerability alert for Windows, there might be certain ports on your firewall that you can block until there's an effective patch that comes down, or a registry key that you can add temporarily to disable a particular vulnerable service, or basically disable that registry entry until they have a proper patch. So, that's pretty much, countermeasures right there. In a nutshell, applicable type of controls: preventative, detective, corrective. I mean, preventative is always the best way to go if you can do so. But like if you're in the SOC environment, you're detecting stuff that's been breached, obviously, then you pretty much have to implement corrective means to either re-image the user's OS, or if it's just a piece of like adware, wipe it out and fix. Control assets, so you don't want rogue assets going on your network. Like good security policy and privacy. Like nowadays, a lot of companies are using segmented networks. So if you have like BYOD devices, they might have a network that just segments it off. And basically, once the devices authenticate, then they can at least get, some VPN access into the internal resources. But like if it's your Amazon Alexa, it's not getting anything other than straight to the interwebs and letting you play music. That's it. So a lot of companies are using segmented networks, plus like they'll segment certain networks like payroll and accounting and or the C-suite off from like the rest of us lackey users. That way we can't see them, but they can see us. And likewise, the other people can't see IT, or IT security, but we can see them. That way, if an attacker penetrates the network, that there's enough layers for them to chew through, and it should take them more time. Other countermeasures that people are doing, especially nowadays, is deception networks. They emulate a whole entire network. They have top secret file and stuff like that that's basically set to act like little, breadcrumbs and juicy bait for the fish for people fishing around in your network to bite on, and then throw the alarm when they do. So like they have like, instead of the traditional honeypot or honey network that's kind of dumb, they have whole products that do that particularly well nowadays. Risk frameworks: NIST, HIPAA, GLBA, you know, continuous improvement, risk maturity modeling. Always striving to improve, because like some organizations that are like a small business, they may start out with a medium maturity model or a low model and try and get to a higher model with continuously improving. They may not have the budget to get there like an enterprise would, but there's they can still do quite a lot with very little, especially if they are creative. Excuse me. So, I mean, but CISP won't dwell too much on, the stuff like this. I mean, basically that's what taxi feeds are for. Another one that you can get is OTX. There's other threat vendors, but this one here, you can get nice live pulses from. They'll email them to you. You can get them in real time. You can get them over API. I was working for Securonics, but as I said, they love their damned IPO. And it wasn't, so